I'm gonna go do adult things. Did you already cover the H3 lawsuit? Yes, I did, Kaizex. I'm done for today. We've been live for 3 hours and 10 minutes. I want to thank you guys all. We got, what? We got 12 new members of the channel today. 12. So thank you. To the bottom of my heart, I appreciate the support. Thank you for being a member. I'm going to head off for the rest of the day and go, oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that shekel.
Tanya's ex here. I'm going to be dropping an over hour and a half video mostly about Tanya, and a little about Firebat, late next week. Get ready.
What just happened? The Great Exposer just donated a $5 donation saying, I am Tanya's ex here. I'm going to be dropping over an hour and a half video, mostly about Tanya and a little bit about Firebat late next week. Get ready. What? The Great Exposer. Well, wait. Which ex of your Tanya? Are you the bad ex that Tanya talked about, or a good ex? Where did you come from? I don't know where this person came from.
So as you just saw, I put out a feeler regarding my upcoming video about my ex. Obviously, I did so for promotional purposes to let the right people know what was going to happen, but I also did so for another reason. I wanted to confirm that her now wife-husband, known on YouTube as Firebat, would make some kind of predictable response. And lo and behold, Shim did not disappoint. I checked his YouTube channel and lo and behold, a short about little old me. I clicked on it and found the following. I just got news that the Great Exposer, Tanya's terrible letter X, is making a video about Serenity and I next week. This is going to be fun to hear how justifies putting a knife over Serenity's and abused her in their relationship. Oh, don't worry, Firebat. I'm going to cover all of that in exhausting detail. In fact, I'll go ahead and give you a little tasty preview right now. Since you felt compelled and emboldened enough to post that, to me that indicates one of two things. Either A, she's withheld key details and context that made her look like the psychotic abuser that left me little to no choice but to escalate to the point where knives got involved. Or B, she did tell you all those important details, and being the beta male simp that we all know you to be with the Superman cape welded to the back of your neck, you ignored all those red flags and went about with your simpish validation and defense of her anyway. But then again, you know quite a bit about having red flags, don't you, Fire-chan? Either way, it's alright, I got you, bro. I have no problem whatsoever openly talking about it because it ain't like I did that for little to no reason or without constant, profound provocation. And hey, thanks for predictably falling into my trap, hook, line, and sinker. By falling into said trap, you actually confirmed two things. That you obsessively watch all of the content of all of your online ops despite the fact that you claim to not care what they have to say about you, and as a bonus, that either you and or my ex regularly frequent my Facebook page, which is where you got that profile picture of me. Didn't really want to put in this extra bit of work after my extensive video about both of them has already been rendered, but hey, what can I say? Shit moves fast in the Chris Batverse. No, seriously, to all of those unfamiliar, look this guy up on YouTube. Just search Trans Firebat and be prepared to dive into a deep-ass rabbit hole. And if all the information procured from said rabbit hole is any indication, you are the last person on the planet that should be talking about abuse, my boy. Stones and glass houses and whatnot. Maybe if she and or you didn't run y'all's fucking mouths about me online to where these drama channels have gotten the impression that I was the sole monstrous abuser in my relationship with her, I wouldn't have to make any videos about y'all to begin with. But no, y'all just couldn't help yourselves, so now you get this work. Consequences and repercussions and all that. Anyways, my Mungo Chungo ass video about both him and my ex is set to premiere on Saturday, June 20th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Be there or go fuck yourselves. The Great Exposer has Oh, what the hell? Are you fucking serious right now? I know I said shit moves fast in the Fire Chan verse, but this is fucking ridiculous. This social reject loser seems to have dedicated hours of preemptive damage control live streaming before I even dropped a single video. I'm not watching over 5 hours worth of streamed videos, okay? I got far too much of a life for that. I only watched a little over half an hour of his near 4-hour live stream, and in that just little over 30 minutes, he impulsively contradicted himself several times and got details about mine and Tanya's relationship wrong, namely the knife threat stuff, which confirms that she didn't tell him the full story because he said that the knife threats happened because I couldn't handle her yelling and screaming at me. Yeah, no bro, not true in the slightest. There was more to it than just that. Like I said, don't even worry about it. I got you. I'm going to clear the whole thing up for you and everyone else in the video that will drop on Saturday. There are a few things I want to actually address right quick before I end the video, so let's get this over with.
And so for the you don't know, my wife and I have had fights on camera. We've had disagreements where I'm in the car crying and drinking and being an absolute mess. We've had situations where my wife was literally arrested at the pilot in Tumwater, and then there's been other things. It got so bad in the beginning of our relationship because of her trauma and the stuff she brought over from her relationship with this loser and with her dad.
Oh, hell nah. No, 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 no. Absolutely fucking not. Flag on the play. Pretty much all of the toxic shit you have experienced with her, I had already experienced all of it long before she even met you. Don't be putting that shit on me. That abusive streak of hers was already there when I got a hold of her, bro. Stop the bullshit.
So one of the things I'm trying to do in our relationship, I'm not perfect. I have admitted multiple times, I've taken accountability for the wrongs I've done. Tanya's talked about the wrongs I've done in her own video. And the truth is, everything I've done with my wife compared to her dad and her mom and Dwayne are nothing. Nothing compared to them. And my wife has admitted this multiple times.
Pretty sure you both punched her and headbutt her, with at least one of those being while she was pregnant. The knife stuff that I will get into in my over hour and a half long video, the knives never even touched her. So yeah, pretty sure you've done worse things by default on account that there was actual physical contact. Again, cease and desist with the bullshit. You don't have the high ground that you think you do.
It's like when you put... What?
Almost like I'm a toxic person too.
Yeah, except you don't put knives over people's heads.
Right. I just put knives in my words.
Or drive their partner, talking about Dwayne here, to go want to kill themselves. Yeah.
I don't even remember what triggered that, you know that?
Oh, you mean during the time period where we were fighting near constantly because she refused to seek therapy and I was threatening to end the relationship due to her stubborn refusal to do so, eventually causing her to have a psychotic breakdown which caused me to have to block the door so she wouldn't go drive her car off a bridge? All because she refused to seek the therapy for her issues that she would end up having to do anyway after we broke up? You mean that so-called suicide attempt? The hilarious part is that you really thought you did something with that. You truly believe that was a profound gotcha. Sorry, bro, that whole situation says far more about her than it ever could about me. So that's already 3 strikes worth of bullshit from you. But you know what? Let's give you another chance at the plate just for good measure.
If she has been telling people that I was the one and only abuser in the relationship, she's lying and promoting revisionist history. No, she's telling the truth and she's sharing what she remembers.
Exactly.
This is a policy I believe is this
So
person.
You and I have had arguments over memory, much like you and I do.
Right.
His memory, the holes in his memory are completely different reasons from yours.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna stop there before I get myself into more trouble. But yeah, we both. I guess I'm just with people who remember everything differently, and insist that their memory is the only right one.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that I heard from her in that clip? You and Tanya argue about memory just like she and I did? Her having arguments with multiple people regarding memory, huh? Sounds to me like the common denominator is her. Her memory is clearly unreliable due to both heavy bias and poor information retention, which I had to deal with a lot in our relationship. I love that she said that right after you tried to claim that she was telling the truth. How's your foot taste there, Chris Bat?
A big reason why our relationship ended is because she resented me for trying to bring structure and stability into her life. No, she resented you because you're a lazy piece of shit. Okay, so the reason why their relationship ended, and this is from Tanya's own mouth and from what I've observed, she left him because he wouldn't do anything. She had to do everything. She was working a full-time job, literally would do all the cleaning, cooking, shopping, handle all the bills, literally would take care of everything. Well, Dwayne, on the other hand, would focus on being the great exposer and work a nighttime job as just a full-time employee, as a security guard at night. And apparently before that job, he had a really hard time with jobs. Sound familiar? Sounds like someone else you know? Me, for instance?
Holy fuck. So much bullshit to dispel here. First of all, she did not do all the cooking. In fact, when it came to meals in which we both ate at the same time, I was the one that did most of the cooking. The only time she did any type of cooking for the both of us was during Thanksgiving and maybe sometimes Christmas. And any other time where I didn't cook anything for her, she either heated up some Hot Pockets or ate Crustables, and she never once fucking complained. Second, she also did not do all of the cleaning. The only thing that she ever cleaned that I didn't was all of the bed linen. She would clean the toilet most of the time, but not all of the time. We both did vacuuming of the carpet when needed, and we divided the washing of the dishes. I did all the plates, bowls, pots, and pans, while she did silverware, glasses/cups, and Tupperware. And even with that somewhat even division, she still bitched and complained about having to do her part until I suggested that she listen to videos/podcasts to make cleaning the dishes more tolerable. Third, when both of our employment histories are calculated and totaled, it was actually her that remained unexcusably unemployed more than me. The time period in which she is claiming she had to do everything was from around June of 2018 to May of 2021. What she conveniently leaves out is her own period of unemployment from around October of 2014 to around summer of 2016. I don't remember the exact month. Now, at face value, each of those respective time periods of unemployment were about equal, right? Wrong. I attempted a college run in the winter of 2019, which lasted about 3 months, and was getting paid for it via the GI Bill. I only ended up doing 1 quarter for a multitude of reasons that I won't get into. My unemployment for a good chunk of 2020 can be explained due to a little thing called fucking COVID lockdowns. Grand total, I'd say I had about 1 year and 8 months worth of unexcusable unemployment. Her near 2 years of unemployment? Pure laziness and, to hear her reasoning, being anxiety riddled. I had to be the sole breadwinner during that 2-year time period, working a highly stressful job where I would get migraines on a constant basis, and I was trying to take care of all of the bills, which at the time included her car note payment, all on a job that wasn't paying enough. I even regularly had to take out early payday loans just to keep us from getting evicted. All because she refused to look for work until I finally got on her at the time lazy ass to do so. So yeah, I don't want to hear shit about how I was the lazy one. God fucking forbid she would get to return the favor and make things equal. Isn't that what so-called self-proclaimed feminists like her are all about? Equality? Yet when the shoe was on the other foot, she took issue with it? Even though chunks of my unemployment had circumstances behind them that she didn't have? Yeah, no, fuck that shit. Fourth, I was too focused on being the great exposer, huh? Okay, let's see if that's true. The beautiful thing about YouTube channels is all uploads are historically chronicled so we can see whether or not statements like this are complete bullshit. Okay, so I lost my Northwest Cannabis Solutions security job around June of 2018. Okay, so from June to December of 2018, I count 9 videos. Okay, I guess you can potentially make the argument that I was focused on making content for the remainder of the year right after I got fired. Let's move on to 2019. Oh wow, 4 videos in January of that year. Holy shit, you might actually be onto something there, Firebat. Maybe I was too focused on making YouTube videos. Oh, but wait, hold up a second. After the last video in January of 2019, I don't make another video until late December, roughly 12 months later. Now, how is it possible for me to be so focused on my YouTube persona, yet go 12 months without uploading anything? And then right after that, I dropped my David Jaffe video that was so controversial, it led to my main channel being terminated for over 2 years. Man, tough break there, Firebat. You were so close to potentially making a valid point, but verifiable reality ended up smacking you in your lipstick-covered mouth. Fifth and finally, and this might be the biggest fatal flaw in your whole premise that Tanya likely provided you, if she was having to pay all the bills during the time up until we broke up like you and her claim, how was she able to still acquire $30,000 to $40,000 in savings? Her job didn't pay that big of a salary to be able to cover, at the time, at least $1,600 a month in combined expenditures and still be able to regularly save a significant amount of money. Doesn't make sense now, does it? Now let me go ahead and tell you what really happened. Once I got that security job at the retirement community in July of 2021, the two of us combined were making roughly $73,000 a year. Even with the way the bills were split between us at the time, we were both raking in quite a bit of extra money. Admittedly, she was more frugal with her money than I was and didn't feel the need to spend all that much, whereas I was, let's just say, more ambitious with what I did with all the extra money I had coming in. And even with all that money coming in, she still ended the relationship. Almost as if how bills and chores were divided up had fuck all to do with why we broke up or some shit. I'll save the details for that in the video though. I would give you one more chance to redeem yourself, Firebat, but that last bit of verbal diarrhea was so delusional, so easily disproven, and was built on a foundation of profound dumbfuckness that it counts as 2 strikes and 1. Which means you've struck out a second time and therefore have been deemed a shit salesman with a mouthful of free samples who either gleefully ate up Tanya's revisionist lies and begged for seconds like the good little obedient dog that you are, or you just made up a bunch of bullshit on your own on her behalf, and thus the remainder of your video isn't worth watching because you're probably just gonna spout more fantasy world bullshit, and I've already wasted enough of my time on your retarded foolishness. So once more for the road. My over hour and a half long Dumping Out the Garbage Part 2 video will premiere on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Be there or go to hell! The Great Exposer has spoken.